Every time your paycheck hits your account, something predictable happens. The money doesn't slowly fade, it vanishes. Bills, groceries, subscriptions, small, harmless purchases. And suddenly, you're wondering how you're already back at zero. Most people think the solution is earning more, but that's the trap. If you don't control your paycheck the moment it arrives, it will control you. In this video, I'll show you the simple payday system that protects your money automatically and stops you from living broke ever again. Why most people stay broke, even with a job. Most people don't have a spending problem. They have an order problem. Here's what usually happens. You get paid. You pay bills. You spend what feels reasonable. You try to save what's left. But as Warren Buffett said, do not save what is left after spending. Spend what is left after saving. The issue? There's never anything left. It's like trying to fill a bucket with a hole in the bottom and wondering why it never fills up. And here's where most people get it wrong. They think they need more discipline, more budgeting apps, more restrictions. But the difference between people who stay broke and people who build wealth isn't motivation. It's systems. Rich people don't rely on willpower. They rely on automation. And in a second, I'm going to show you the four-base structure that organizes your entire financial life automatically. But first, we need to fix the biggest mistake people make with their paycheck. Home base, your checking account, the money trap. Your checking account is not where your money should live. It's where it passes through. But most people treat it like storage. They let their paycheck sit there, and slowly, almost invisibly, it gets spent. Meanwhile, inflation quietly reduces its value. If inflation is around 3% and your checking earns almost nothing, your money is losing purchasing power every single year. You think you're standing still. You're actually moving backward. So here's the first rule of the payday system. Your checking account should only hold enough to cover rent or mortgage utilities, insurance minimum debt payments. That's it. Everything else needs an assignment. Because as Dave Ramsey said, a budget is telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. But here's the question. If money shouldn't sit in checking, where does it go first? That's first base. First base. Stability, emergency fund, plus buffer. Before you build wealth, you build stability. This is your emergency fund. And no, it doesn't need to be some huge, intimidating number right away. Start small, $500 to $1,000, to then build toward 3 to 6 months of essential expenses. If your essential monthly expenses are $2,000, your target becomes $6,000 to $12,000. This money lives in a high-yield savings account, not invested, not risky, not complicated, boring, liquid, accessible. Benjamin Franklin said, "By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail." Your emergency fund is preparation. And here's what most people don't realize. An emergency fund doesn't just protect your money. It protects your mindset. When your car breaks down, you don't panic. When work feels uncertain, you don't feel trapped. When life throws something unexpected at you, it becomes an inconvenience, not a crisis. But here's where people get stuck. They keep piling money into savings forever because it feels safe. Safety is good, but safety alone doesn't build wealth. Once you hit your emergency target, you stop funding this account because the next base is where your money actually starts multiplying. And this is where things get interesting. Before we move on, if this is already changing how you see your paycheck, make sure you subscribe This channel is all about building systems that actually work, not just motivational finance talk. Now let's talk growth. Second base, retirement. Future you gets paid first. This is where your money begins to compound. If your employer offers a 401k match, this is your first priority. It's free money. If they match 3%, that's a guaranteed 100% return on your contribution. You will never find a safer or faster return than that. If you don't have a 401k, open a Roth IRA. A Roth IRA allows you to invest post-tax dollars, and all the growth is tax-free. So, if you invest $10,000 and it grows to $100,000, you keep the gains. Now here's the part that most people underestimate. Time. If you invest $300 per month, starting at age 25 and earn an average of 8%, you could end up with over $1 million by retirement. Start at 35, you lose hundreds of thousands, not because you invested less, but because you gave your money less time. Compound interest is like a snowball rolling downhill. The earlier you start, the bigger it gets. But here's the mistake that costs people years. They contribute to a retirement account and never actually invest the money. If your money sits as cash inside a Roth IRA, it does nothing. You must invest it, typically in broad index funds. Don't overcomplicate this. You don't need to outsmart the market. You need consistency. And once retirement investing is automated, the next step is where wealth building really accelerates. Third base, taxable investing, wealth mode. After your emergency fund is complete and retirement is automated, you move to a brokerage account. This is where flexibility lives. Money here can be used for early retirement, major life goals, financial independence, long-term wealth growth. This isn't day trading. This isn't gambling. This is consistent investing. Historically, the stock market has averaged around 8 to 10% annually over long periods. Yes, there are crashes. Yes, there is volatility. But every major downturn has eventually recovered and gone higher over time. Warren Buffett said, "Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful." When others panic, disciplined investors stay consistent, because this system isn't about timing the market. It's about time in the market. But here's the part that makes all of this actually work. Without this next step, everything collapses. The rule that makes this system unbreakable. Automation motivation fades. Willpower gets tired. You might budget perfectly for 3 weeks. Then life happens. Uber Eats, new clothes, random subscriptions, weekend plans, and 6 months later, you're back where you started. That's why automation is non-negotiable. Here's how the payday system works. Your paycheck hits checking. 24 hours later, automatic transfers move money to high-yield savings until emergency fund is complete. Retirement accounts. Brokerage account. These transfers are treated like bills, non-negotiable. You don't decide every month. The system decides. This removes emotion from the equation. And that's the difference between people who build wealth and people who constantly restart. If this makes sense so far, pause for a second and hit subscribe. Most people were never taught this. And the more people who understand systems like this, the fewer people live paycheck to paycheck forever. Now let's make this practical. How to set this up today, step by step. Step 1. Use real numbers. Look at your last 2 to 3 months of spending. Not guesses, real numbers. How much comes in? How much goes out? You can't fix what you don't measure. Step 2. Separate needs from wants needs. Housing, food, utilities. Wants, upgrades, eating out, subscriptions. Ask yourself, Do I need this? Or do I just want it? This creates breathing room. Step 3. Calculate your emergency target monthly essential expenses. Times 3 equals minimum buffer. Times 6 equals strong buffer. Now you have clarity. Step 4. Open the accounts. High yield savings retirement account. Brokerage account. Don't overthink which one is perfect. The best account is the one you actually open. Step 5. Start small, then increase. Start with 10% of income. If that feels scary, start with $20, even $10. The goal is not perfection, it's consistency. Whenever you get a raise, pay off debt, reduce expenses, increase your automation, don't inflate your lifestyle, inflate your investments. Why? This system changes everything because it flips the order. Most people spend to react to hope to save. This system, save to invest to spend what's left. Once your core investments leave your account automatically, you can spend the rest guilt-free. No stress, no obsessively checking balances, no wondering where it went. 5 years from now, your emergency fund is solid. Your retirement accounts are compounding. Your brokerage account is growing. And you're no longer living paycheck to paycheck. You're living intentionally. If you found value in this, give the video a thumbs up and subscribe. The goal here isn't just to make more money. It's to build systems that make money work for you. Start today even with $10. Because a year from now, you'll wish you had. And that's the payday system that keeps you from living broke again.